Gentlemen, how are you?
Good.
Good,
How you doing,
fantastic.
man?
How's it going, Greg?
Good to see you all. And just gotta say, this just watching this movie, definitely a roller coaster ride because you don't really know what's happening when you get down to the bottom.
Right.
Because I was gonna say, I mean, I remember all of us back in college or your senior year, you're thinking about, okay, there was always that thing of going to like 5, 6, 7, or 10 parties. That's all you guys wanted to do. But RJ, this wound up not being a party.
Yeah, not at all. It ended up being uh, a stress, but also a very
Stress.
it ends up being a very revealing and also therapeutic moment. I feel like for a friendship between three people.
Right.
You feel me? I feel like the boys started as the boys, and then they became the boys at the end of the movie because we unbreakable after that. We didn't know if we were gonna make it through the end of this night, but we were down for each other. You feel me? And you kind of seen the importance of brotherhood, but not just brotherhood, but friendship between three. You feel me? Like that was good to see us be able to walk like that and then go through this situation to where we had to start to value each other way more and more throughout the film, you know.
Right. Because even thinking like moving next to you to Sebastian, here's your guy. It's probably, if anything, the character would think, I shouldn't have walked into the room when I did.
Yeah.
Because
I guess the unfortunate truth of the situation is that, if I had locked the door, none of this would have happened. I think I am sort of carrying the burden throughout the whole film of, or at least in Carlos's perspective, of being responsible.
Mhm.
And there's this anxiety that it's just like we are suffering right now. We're going through all this pain because I'm such a fool. Like, how could I do this? And you don't really get to know Carlos outside of dealing with this traumatic experience. So you just get to see him insofar as how he deals with this, right? And it's just a really horrible. He's not equipped for this at all,
Nope, that's for sure. And then Donald, like with your guy, I mean, he's all set, ready to graduate, move on with his life.
Right.
And, because obviously we're not going to give anything away, but I mean, he just winds up in a very scary situation.
Right. And it's inevitable. It's one of those things where you hear stories about it, but you're like, it never happened to me. It happens to other people, but it's like, it's really, well, we talked about it. Like, how many people actually get shot by the cops, right? It's like really, really unlikely, right?
Mhm.
But when you see yourself in it, and then all it takes is one time for that to happen to you, and it's like, it's really, really unlikely until it's right at your doorstep.
Exactly.
So.
Oh no, that's for sure. I was going to say, just like couldn't imagine. And like, your guy was definitely like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
And RJ, also the thing is, like we said, there's a lot of deepness, of course, in the movie, a lot of mystery, but there's also some humor too, which kind of like, helps to break things up.
Yeah. I think that's just the human mind space, kind of depicted through film. We all try to find joy in our, dark spots, but also, bad is the only thing that doesn't last. You feel me? And in trauma, we kind of try to find the bright spots because trauma is so dark. So even in the spaces where, Kunle towards the end of the movie, his dark space came in the midst of him being in his lit situation.
Right.
And then he got to reclaim that in a way, right before he went into his dark space, and it's like kind of showing the balance of what it is to just be human.
Right.
You're not going to always try to be the optimist, or you're not always going to be the biased one. It's just a roller coaster, and just put your seatbelt on so you don't fall off that mug. But, it's not always going to be the smooth ride. And I think Carrie and KD together just made a great balance of creativity to let us kind of just eat upon as actors and bring to you an emergency like that.
Absolutely. Like I said, that title means so much. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Take care and see you again soon.
All right. Thanks, man.
So it's somewhat good to see, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it was good to see your movie. You're director and writer. And I'll start with you, Katie, as the writer. How did this whole idea come about? I mean, it was really an interesting story because when you're watching in the beginning, you're thinking one thing, and then it moves you definitely into something else.
Yeah, I mean, the idea came from a lot of places. It's loosely inspired by things that have happened to friends of mine, and you know, it is in some ways a story of, you know, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, but told from the perspective of the three bears instead of Goldilocks. It's like, you know, it's in their mind, it's a horror story. It's like this white woman wanders into your house and passes out, and now you have to deal with her. And you know, I think that, you know, she the story came from a friend of mine. Was like a really, he's like the sweetest person in the world. He's Mexican American like me, and he was trying to be a good Samaritan and take this woman who like he found in his home, and he managed to get her to say like where she where she lived. And so he took her and he put her in his car and was like gonna drive her home, just like being nice, and she passed out. And suddenly he's like, I am a brown man with like an unconscious white woman in my car who like, it became the longest ride of his life, he said. And you know, we wanted to dramatize that situation and kind of use it as a way to explore the fact that many, you know, people of color in America have this burden of having to think and anticipate how you're being perceived all the time. You have to do this calculation of like, how does this look? How does this situation look? And I mean, it's absurd that we live in a society where, you know, if you're in certain emergency situations, you might have to look at the emergency and say, am I more afraid of this, or am I more afraid of calling 911? And, you know, I think that, you know, we wanted to, you know, satirize that a bit and poke fun at the absurdity of that situation, but also because the stakes are so real, it also is a bit of a thriller. It operates on both levels as the comedy and the thriller.
Right, because I was going to say, yeah, because Casey, when we're first watching it, you're thinking, okay, I can already imagine this trip. These guys want to go, you know, on this bunch of parties and all like that, so it's going to be fun. And then all of a sudden, things begin to change. Talk a little bit about, you know, like she said, starting out doing, you know, having a lot of comedy, also a lot of drama, and a lot of thrills in this.
Yeah, it's funny. Life said nah to that party night. You know,
Yeah.
Life says you're not going to have that. Yeah, it was. For me, like the thread was really focusing on the love story between Sean and Kunle, and really getting a connection with their friendship that was going to carry us through this roller coaster of the night. And also from a you know, technical standpoint, creating this cinematic visual language up for the film that felt very authored and really felt like it was guiding you through it, as opposed to just kind of maybe spraying this with, you know, cameras and like just kind of, you know, whatever, we put it together in the edit. I wanted it to feel like there's someone taking you through this story, through on this roller coaster ride, and really presenting this friendship for you. But it's going to go from comedy to drama to thriller to horror, just like life can do, you know. And so yeah, that was my goal. You know, I knew that it was going to be tricky and it was totally going to be a tightrope to walk, but that was a really fun challenge, and I was really looking forward to.
Right, and like you said, it was balanced on all three different levels, you know, so greatly, where you're watching and like I said, you're just thinking, okay, it's, you know, and that just makes it even more compelling, you know.
I love films that you don't know where they're gonna go. Like it surprises you, because a lot of films I feel like you kind of can predict the end, or
we're
whatever.
Also genre savvy now. I think that like a lot of us, we both like grew up just almost like we were both, I was an only child till I was 15, and you know, we were both just like watching movies constantly. And I think, so many people are so genre savvy now. It's like, it's hard to surprise people anymore. So we wanted to take a lot of those tropes from like party movies and then turn them on their head. And like, what happens if you're adding real like life or death stakes to this situation, and also the social commentary? It's, you know, hopefully going to be a new experience for people.
Or a nude experience. Yes, but great to see you both. Thank you both very, very much. And I look forward to watching this back so I can definitely see your faces clearer. But thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.